They had the fame, the fortune, and a scalpel on speed dial. From basement bargain tweaks to million-dollar transformations gone wrong, these celebrities didn't just flirt with beauty. They married it, divorced it, and sued it for emotional damage. Buckle up, because we're diving face-first into the wild, warped world of plastic surgery disasters, and trust us, some faces may never bounce back. Joe Tuna, the teen who turned school into a surgery marathon. While most teenagers worry about acne or algebra, Joe Tuna had something far more cutting-edge in mind, literally. At just 13, when kids are picking out backpacks, Joe was picking out surgeons. Fast forward to age 17, and she'd already undergone more than 100 cosmetic procedures. Yes, 100. And no, this wasn't for a sci-fi movie role. From double eyelid surgery to Barbie eye enhancements, rhinoplasty to liposuction, Tuna wasn't just dabbling in beauty, she was treating it like a full-time job, with her parents footing a bill north of $600,000. How'd she convince them? She reportedly threatened to drop out of school if they didn't fund her glow-up. Was it insecurity? Peer pressure? An attempt to morph into a real-life anime character? Maybe all three. But one thing's clear, Joe Tuna didn't just want to stand out, she wanted to redesign herself from scratch. She claims her surgeries helped her gain confidence and popularity, but not without side effects. We're talking memory loss, scarring, and the kind of backlash that even Instagram filters can't hide. Her story leaves us wondering, how young is too young to chase perfection? And more importantly, who's holding the scalpel and the rules? Pixie Fox, the human cartoon who cut her way to fantasy. Pixie Fox didn't want to age gracefully. She wanted to become a living, breathing cartoon. And she wasn't kidding. While the rest of us are out here trying to figure out how to contour, Pixie was out here removing ribs, 6 of them to be exact, all in the name of a wasp waist worthy of a Saturday morning animation. Hailing from North Carolina, Pixie swapped sweet tea for scalpels, undergoing over 200 procedures, including jaw-shattering surgery, yes, on purpose, elf ear sculpting, 4 breast augmentations, lip fillers, cheek reshaping, eye color surgery, you name it. She even wanted a genital makeover she dubbed a baby flower. No, we're not making this up. Pixie's obsession with the fantastical landed her on the hit show Botched, where even the most seasoned surgeons threw in the towel. Dr. Nassif and Dr. Dubrow politely but firmly told her no more. But Pixie didn't stop. When the medical world said, "That's enough," she replied, "Not even close. She's not just chasing beauty. She's chasing an identity that defies biology, culture, and common sense. Some say it's self-expression. Others say it's surgical cosplay. Either way, Pixie Fox has turned transformation into performance art, with a price tag and jawline that will drop yours. Carrot Top, comedy's king of muscles, makeup, or myths? If you asked Carrot Top what he's had done, he'd probably say, leg day. But let's be real. Somewhere between The Tonight Show and his Las Vegas residency, something changed. And it wasn't just the lighting. Scott Carrot Top Thompson went from quirky red-headed comedian to jacked, jaw-popping enigma. With biceps that could crush watermelons and a face that's raised more eyebrows than his punchlines, fans couldn't help but wonder, is it surgery or sorcery? The internet has theories, Botox, brow lifts, fillers, even cheek implants. But Carrot Top swears it's all clean living and gym time. He jokes, "If I'd had plastic surgery, I'd look way better than this." Hey, at least he's self-aware. Despite the swirling rumors, Carrot Top insists it's just protein shakes and hard work. No scalpel, no sneaky surgeons, just lots of reps, and maybe a little retinol. Still, the transformation is undeniable. From zany comic to action figure adjacent, his look keeps fans guessing. Whether you buy his story or not, one thing's clear, Carrot Top is laughing all the way to the bank with or without a little nip and tuck. Thanks for watching our video. If you like this video, please comment Ladderer 1 and Ladderer 3 if you want us to go deeper into these celebrities. Joan Van Ark, from soap star to sculpted statue? Once the glowing blonde beauty of Knots Landing, Joan Van Ark had the kind of cheekbones that could cut glass and didn't need a scalpel to do it. But fast forward a few decades, and fans were asking, is she starring in a reboot or melting in real time? Joan's face became a mystery more suspenseful than any soap opera plot twist. Tight, shiny, and eerily wrinkle-free, her look left people wondering, did she find the fountain of youth, or just the world's busiest plastic surgeon? While Van Ark has kept quiet on the topic, like full-on no-comment mode, experts and eagle-eyed fans speculate a cocktail of facelifts, Botox, fillers, and maybe a brow lift or two. One plastic surgeon described her skin as looking like hot wax in motion. Ouch! Still, despite the rumors, Joan's transformation remains her own. And honestly, in a world where Hollywood pressures women to stay forever 35, can we really blame her for wanting to stay in the spotlight? One thing's for sure, whether it's makeup, medical miracles, or a time machine, Joan Van Ark's ever-changing face keeps us talking and blinking. Heidi Montag, 10 surgeries, 16 hours, one giant regret. Reality star Heidi Montag once thought the shortcut to self-love was a 16-hour detour through the operating room. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. At just 23, Heidi underwent 10 cosmetic procedures in a single day. Yes, 10. Like she was prepping for a beauty Olympics. Among the hits, a brow lift, chin reduction, lipo, Botox, and breast augmentation. Toss in a touch of painkillers, and you've got the perfect storm for a post-op identity crisis. Why do it? According to Heidi, it all came down to insecurity and the promise of a free transformation worth thousands. But the emotional cost? Priceless. The recovery was brutal. At one point, she admitted she felt like she was dying, both physically and mentally. But here's the kicker. Heidi later admitted she didn't even need the surgeries. Not really. Not deep down. The pressure to be perfect had hijacked her sense of self, and her body paid the price. Now she's speaking out, not to shame plastic surgery, but to warn others, before you go under the knife, check what's cutting you deeper, your looks or your self-worth. Heidi's journey is a cautionary tale in contour and consequence. It's not about bashing beauty procedures. It's about remembering you were probably fine before the scalpel ever touched your skin. Priscilla Presley, from Graceland glam to cosmetic confusion. She was once the queen of Elvis's heart, and the envy of every 70s beauty icon. But Priscilla Presley's recent look has fans asking, is that really her or a wax figure that blinked? To be fair, Priscilla has never confirmed any cosmetic procedures. But let's just say her face has undergone more plot twists than a soap opera. Overfilled cheeks, stretched skin, frozen expressions, her transformation has sparked endless speculation from both fans and plastic surgeons alike. Some experts point to overuse of fillers, suggesting her cheeks are so plumped they've lifted her lower eyelids. Others suspect facelifts and aggressive skin resurfacing may be behind her glassy, smooth finish. One theory? She may have been a victim of a fake doctor, Dr. Daniel Serrano, who reportedly injected Hollywood elites with industrial-grade silicone. You know, the kind used to lube car parts, not cheekbones. The tragedy? Priscilla never needed all this. She had classic beauty, Hollywood charm, and the Presley name. But like many in showbiz, the pressure to defy aging can lead even legends down risky roads. Whether it was a misstep, a mistake, or just misguided trust, her story reminds us, chasing eternal youth in Hollywood often comes with a price. And sometimes that price is your own reflection staring back at you. Sharon Osbourne, the facelift that broke the ice, and nearly her face. Sharon Osbourne has never been shy, not on the talk, not in life, and definitely not about her cosmetic surgeries. But after her 2021 facelift, the Queen of Candid had one word for the result: Cyclops. And no, she wasn't being poetic. The 5.5-hour procedure left Sharon looking so off, even she had to ask her surgeon if one eye had wandered off script. Spoiler, it had. It hurt like hell, she admitted, and just like that, after years of tweaks, tucks, and touch-ups, Sharon waved the white flag. This wasn't her first rodeo. She's had everything from lasers to veneers, Botox to lifts, and she documented most of it in her autobiography because Sharon doesn't do secrets, only statements. But after that last facelift left her feeling like a stretched-out Snapchat filter, she made a choice. No more surgeries. At 70 plus, Sharon's embracing her age, sort of, swapping knives for skincare, and finally slowing down the beauty hamster wheel. Time's not on my side, she says, and apparently neither is gravity. Her story isn't about regret. It's about realization. Even the most glam, most confident, most outspoken celebrities hit a point where they say, enough is enough. And if Sharon can own her imperfections and still rock red carpets, maybe aging gracefully isn't such a bad look after all. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel. Frozen in time, literally. Once one of the most photographed women in the world, Linda Evangelista could famously not get out of bed for less than $10,000. But after one cool cosmetic decision, she ended up hiding under the covers for 5 years, for free. In 2015, Linda tried cool sculpting, a non-invasive fat-freezing procedure that promised zero downtime and maximum results. What she got instead was paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, PAH, a rare side effect that caused her treated areas to grow, harden, and bulge out like frozen butter that refused to melt. While everyone else was sculpting abs, Linda was left with lumps she couldn't lose, even with diet and exercise. She felt permanently deformed and brutally disfigured, and vanished from the spotlight almost overnight. 7 sessions, countless emotional scars, and yes, a $50 million lawsuit against the company behind cool sculpting. The supermodel who once defined 90s glamour now had to redefine her self-worth. But here's the twist. Linda didn't stay down for long. She's speaking out, not just for herself, but for everyone who bought into the illusion of quick fixes and miracle treatments. Her comeback isn't about reclaiming beauty. It's about reclaiming power. Sometimes the most unretouched thing you can show the world is the truth. Jessica Alves, from human Ken doll to living Barbie and still counting. If plastic surgery were an Olympic sport, Jessica Alves would be a gold medalist with extra sparkle. Once known as the human Ken doll, Jessica's transformation journey didn't just break the mold. It melted it, remolded it, added a wig, and gave it breast implants. Born Rodrigo Alves in Brazil, Jessica always felt like she was living in the wrong body. From a young age, she gravitated toward dolls and dresses while others were kicking soccer balls. But childhood dreams came with adult-sized price tags. Over $500,000 worth of surgeries, to be exact. We're talking over 100 cosmetic procedures, nose jobs, so many she lost her sense of smell, jaw reshaping, ribs removed, breast augmentations, and full gender confirmation surgery. It was less about becoming Ken and more about becoming her true self. Jessica says she doesn't believe in gender boxes, and she's proving it one procedure at a time. Her story is part identity, part obsession, and all unapologetically extreme. Critics call it vanity, Jessica calls it freedom, and whether you agree or not, she's rewriting the rules of beauty with a scalpel in one hand and a selfie stick in the other. Love it or fear it, Jessica Alves isn't just changing her look, she's challenging the entire definition of self-image. Michael Jackson, the king of pop and plastic surgery mysteries. He moonwalked into music history, but Michael Jackson's face took a whole different journey, one that had more twists than a Thriller video. In the 70s, he was a charming, wide-eyed icon with an afro and a megawatt smile. By the 2000s, his nose was razor-thin, his skin porcelain pale, and his features so altered that fans wondered, where did Michael go? It all started with one rhinoplasty in 1979, just to help him breathe better, according to early reports. But according to those close to him, that was just the beginning of a long, painful spiral. Surgeons involved have claimed he underwent dozens, possibly over 100, procedures, nose jobs, cheek implants, a cleft chin, lip alterations, eyelid surgeries, and on and on. Even his sister LaToya reportedly had to go under the knife first, as a test subject. That's how unsure he was. But soon, plastic surgery wasn't just a decision. It became a dependency. Experts now suggest Michael may have struggled with body dysmorphic disorder, a psychological condition where a person becomes obsessed with perceived flaws. And as fame, scrutiny, and pressure to stay perfect mounted, so did the transformations. The saddest part? No one could stop him. His evolving face became a symbol, not of vanity, but of vulnerability. Michael Jackson gave the world music that will last forever. But behind the spotlight was a man constantly trying to reshape what he saw in the mirror and maybe escape it altogether. Jackie Stallone, Hollywood's real-life chipmunk? Jackie Stallone, yes, the mother of Sylvester Stallone, proved that age might bring wisdom but not necessarily restraint with plastic surgery. In her own words, she admitted that some of her cosmetic adventures left her looking like a chipmunk with a mouth full of walnuts. Ouch! When your critique comes straight from the mirror, you know it's real. Over the years, Jackie dabbled in everything: facelifts, fillers, Botox, essentially the full Hollywood starter pack. But unlike many celebrities who deny, Jackie owned it. She even laughed at her own transformation, cracking jokes while acknowledging the obvious. Life, however, wasn't all glamour and jokes. Jackie suffered a heart attack in her later years and endured heartbreaking family losses, including her daughter Toni and grandson Sage. Yet she refused to let tragedy or surgery define her. Living in a luxurious Santa Monica condo by the ocean, Jackie stayed active with tap dancing 3 times a week, piano 2 hours a day, and personal training sessions. She believed growing older in Hollywood wasn't a curse but a challenge, and she wanted to be a role model for aging unapologetically. "Movie stars fear aging more than anything," she once said. "But as I got older, I only became more popular." Jackie's story isn't about regret, it's about resilience. Even if her reflection sometimes startled her, she never stopped living loudly, fiercely, and on her own terms. Donatella Versace, fashion royalty or Botox royalty? When you hear the name Versace, you think of glamour, high fashion, and red carpet royalty. But when you see Donatella Versace today, you might also think Botox with a side of mystery. The 69-year-old fashion icon has a face that looks as smooth as her signature silk gowns. No wrinkles, no lines, just a glossy, almost plastic sheen that has fans whispering, how much is natural and how much is needlework? Of course, Donatella herself has never given a tell-all. She doesn't deny, she doesn't confirm. She just struts the runway like a queen who owes the paparazzi no explanations. But plastic surgeons looking at her photos suspect Botox, cheek implants, lip augmentation, maybe even a rhinoplasty or two. Her cheeks appear fuller, her lips plumper, and her forehead, well, shinier than most polished marble. In fact, back in 2014, cosmetic specialists pointed out that her stretched look aligned with heavy Botox use. Some even joked her face was so smooth, you could practically check your reflection in it. But here's the thing. Donatella has built her empire on boldness. Whether it's in fashion or in her personal appearance, subtlety was never in her vocabulary. And love it or hate it, her look is as iconic as the Medusa logo she represents. At the end of the day, Donatella Versace is proof that in both couture and cosmetic tweaks, drama is part of the brand. Katie Price, Britain's plastic princess and tabloid obsession. If there were a crown for Queen of Cosmetic Transformations, Katie Price would have it bedazzled and ready to wear. Once a fresh-faced glamour model known as Jordan, Katie was the picture of natural beauty in the 90s. But by her 30s, she decided natural was overrated, and the transformation train never stopped. Her first major move came in 1999 when she took her bust from a 32B to a 32DD. From there, it was a slippery slope of nose jobs, lip fillers, facelifts, and countless tweaks in between. By 2011, Katie wasn't just embracing her plastic reputation, she was bragging about it. In recent years, she's gone even bolder. Lip plumping, shinier skin, and a string of breast augmentations so frequent, they've practically become an annual tradition. One doctor even raised the alarm, noting each implant weighed about 4.4 pounds, heavier than some handbags. Her appearance at the 2018 National Television Awards had fans doing double takes. Was that Katie Price or her wax figure? And here's the kicker. Katie doesn't hide any of it. In fact, she talks about her surgeries as casually as some people discuss grocery shopping. To her, it's just part of life. Unapologetic doesn't even begin to cover it. Cardi B. From basement bargains to fame, fortune, and brutal honesty. If there's one thing Cardi B doesn't do, it's keep quiet. Whether it's in her lyrics, her interviews, or her Instagram lives, she always says it exactly how it is. And when it comes to plastic surgery, she's just as blunt. Cardi openly admits she's had her fair share of work done. Nose job, breast enhancements, butt implants. But unlike most celebs who stay vague, she gave fans the full, unfiltered story. One of her biggest regrets? Illegal biopolymer butt injections she got in a basement for just $800. Sounds like a bargain until you realize the fillers were dangerous, could spread throughout her body, and in some tragic cases even cost lives. She later underwent surgery to remove those implants, describing the process as extremely painful and risky. And instead of brushing it under the rug, she went online and told millions of fans, "Don't ever do this. Ever." That's Cardi, turning her mistakes into a warning label for everyone else. But don't get it twisted. Cardi B isn't against plastic surgery. She's all about people making changes if it makes them feel good, as long as it's safe. She even joked that her decision to get a nose job came down to one thing. She didn't like her dad's nose, so she got rid of it. Cardi's honesty is part of her charm. She's proof that even megastars fall for bad decisions, but also that it's never too late to fix them and own the story. Neven Ciganovic, the stylist who paid the ultimate side effect. In the world of reality TV, Neven Ciganovic is known as Croatia's flashy stylist with a love for transformation. But one cosmetic surgery didn't just change his face, it changed his entire situation. At 45, Neven flew to Iran for his third nose job, hoping for a more polished profile at a bargain price. What he didn't expect was the bizarre complication that followed, a persistent erection medically known as priapism. Caused by an allergic reaction to anesthesia, this rare side effect turned his routine nose tweak into international headlines. The French Association of Urology warns that priapism can cause permanent damage if not treated immediately. But Neven? He practically turned it into a punchline, even while rushing back to Belgrade for treatment. "I just wanted a smaller nose," he joked, "not a bigger problem." Here's the kicker. Despite the pain, the scare, and the global media circus, Neven isn't done. He's still chasing his ideal look, and he insists he wants just one more surgery before calling it quits. Spoiler, it probably won't be the last. His story is both absurd and cautionary, a reminder that even simple procedures can come with unpredictable consequences. In Hollywood, a bad nose job means bad photos. In Nevin's case, it meant a very awkward medical emergency. And yet, through it all, he remains unapologetically himself, flamboyant, fearless, and always ready for the spotlight, no matter what part of him steals it. Simon Cowell, from Mr. Mean Judge to Mr. Too Much Filler. Simon Cowell built his empire by being brutally honest, sometimes cruelly so, about other people's talent. But when it came to his own face, let's just say he didn't apply the same tough standards. For years, fans speculated that the X Factor and Got Talent mogul had gone under the needle. And in 2023, Simon finally admitted it. Yes, he'd had plastic surgery, and yes, he went way too far. His once familiar face became so smooth, stretched, and puffy that tabloids compared him to a horror movie character. Even his young son, Eric, was reportedly unsettled, asking, "Daddy, what happened to your face?" That was Simon's wake-up call. He had the fillers dissolved, toned things down, and promised to stay away from overdone procedures. Instead, he's now focused on more natural fixes, facials, hydration, diet changes, and a healthier lifestyle. He ditched the extreme makeovers for something subtler and, honestly, much more human. What makes Simon's story so striking is the irony. The man who made a fortune pointing out when others had gone too far in music almost lost himself by going too far in pursuit of youth. But in typical Simon fashion, he didn't hide or sugarcoat it. He owned it. At the end of the day, Simon Cowell learned the same lesson he's been shouting at contestants for years: less is more. And this time, he finally took his own advice. Raji Narain, the woman who survived cement and shame. Raji Narain's story is not just about bad plastic surgery, it's about survival. An actress, activist, and reality TV star, she became widely known after appearing on Botched, where her shocking struggle was revealed to the world. Back in 2005, Raji, who had recently begun her transition, sought out a cheaper alternative for cosmetic enhancements. Enter O'Neill Ron Morris, aka the Duchess, an unlicensed practitioner who was infamous in Miami's underground scene. Instead of medical-grade fillers, Raji was injected with a horrifying mix of cement, mineral oil, tire sealant, and glue. Yes, you heard that right. Basically a hardware store cocktail straight into her face, breasts, and hips. At first, Raji didn't realize what was happening, but soon, the swelling, hard nodules, and deformities became impossible to ignore. Ashamed and devastated, she withdrew from the world, isolating herself at home. For years, she felt trapped inside a face that wasn't hers, and not the one she wanted either. When she finally turned to the doctors on Botched, some of the toxic material was removed, giving her a second chance. But the scars, both physical and emotional, remain. And yet, Raji's story isn't just tragedy, it's resilience. Today, she continues to advocate for safe cosmetic practices, while reminding the world of the dangers of desperation. Her journey proves one thing: even after cement, glue, and heartbreak, the human spirit can still shine through. Anastasia Pokraszczuk, the self-made queen of cheekbones. In the age of influencers, some people chase followers. Anastasia Pokraszczuk chased filler injections, and her cheeks are now so massive they practically deserve their own Instagram account. The Ukrainian model started her journey at 26, dabbling in Botox, veneers, jaw reshaping, and liposuction. Pretty standard in the beauty world, until she decided she could do it better herself. Armed with syringes, tutorials from the internet, and a confidence that would terrify most doctors, Anastasia began injecting her own fillers at home. She swears she sterilizes everything, claims she's as careful as a pro, and insists she knows exactly what she's doing. The result? Cheeks so plump and sharp they could slice through glass. Critics say she looks unnatural, but Anastasia proudly disagrees. She even tried to claim the title of world's biggest cheeks, wearing her transformation like a crown. Doctors, of course, beg her to stop. They warn of infection, nerve damage, and long-term deformities. But Anastasia laughs it off, saying she'll never give up her beloved look. In fact, she's become something of an internet sensation, with fans both fascinated and horrified by her extreme makeover. Is it beauty? Is it madness? Or is it performance art? Whatever it is, Anastasia Pokreshchuk has made sure one thing is true. In a world obsessed with looking different, she's carved herself a place nobody can miss, literally. Mickey Rourke, from Hollywood heartthrob to boxing's broken idol. Once upon a time, Mickey Rourke was the smoldering bad boy of Hollywood, an actor with cheekbones sharp enough to headline a perfume ad. But then he traded the silver screen for the boxing ring, and that's when the punches started landing mostly on his face. In the 1990s, Rourke returned to his first love, professional boxing. The sport gave him glory, but it also gave him 2 broken noses, a smashed cheekbone, a split tongue, and even short-term memory loss. By the time he hung up his gloves, the man who once turned heads in movies was unrecognizable. To fix the damage, Mickey went under the knife for multiple reconstructive surgeries. But here's the twist. Instead of restoration, the results left him frustrated. He admitted he chose the wrong surgeon, and chasing perfection, he went back for more procedures. The outcome? A face so drastically changed that fans struggled to recognize their 80s heartthrob. Over the years, Mickey has undergone at least 5 nose operations and work on his cheekbones. Critics say he looks plastic. Mickey says he just wanted his face back. In truth, it's somewhere in between, a battle-scarred canvas painted by both boxing gloves and scalpels. And yet, despite it all, Rourke still walks red carpets with the same defiant energy.